Hey there, Stampers. This is Sherry Roth with Stamped Treasures. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada. And today I'm here to share with you this beautiful card created using the Bottled Happiness bundle from the 2022-2023 annual Stampin' Up! Catalog. Now this bundle, initially I overlooked it, and I think that was a mistake because the versatility of this bundle is incredible. I'm going to share a few other cards that I created with this set or with this bundle so that you can kind of see just how much variety that you can get with this bundle. So here is something that's a little bit more masculine, focused on the bottles. So you can see that this one is more focused on the florals. Here's another one that's focused around the florals. Here's another one that combines both of them, and another one. And then here is a fun shaker card using our ombre 2022-2024 in color glimmer paper. So as you can see, there's a nice range of projects that you can create with this bundle. And I was super excited when I saw the July to December mini catalog to find the vintage Christmas stamp set in that catalog. So this one actually coordinates with the punch from the vintage bottle, or the vintage bottle punch. So I always love it when Stampin' Up! Comes out with products that coordinate with something that I might already own or that's in the catalog. It just makes the products go a little further, and that's always nice. All right, so let's get started. All right, so I've combined the stamp set with the, let me just confirm the name, Design a Daydream DSP. Now this is a host DSP, something that you can use your Stampin' Rewards. So with a qualifying order, with a $200 order here in Canada, you qualify for Stampin' Rewards. And you can use your Stampin' Rewards to redeem for this fabulous paper. You can see so many colors. I love the color palette in this. So many different patterns. So that is side one, and it is a big paper pack. You get 48 sheets. So the back side is a little bit more geometric. And this pattern right here, this reminds me so much of my very first stamp set that I got in my starter kit when I became a demonstrator like 17, 18 years ago. So yes, so we're going to use that DSP. We're going to combine it with the Stylish Shapes dies, which is my most used die set in my stamp room right now. I love these. I love anything with stitching. So when I saw this was in my pre-order immediately. So I have used the 3 largest circle dies from the Stylish Shapes dies. Now, if you don't have these, you can use circle punches, or you can even use the layering circles if you've got those. Okay. We are going to pull in our Stamparatus to do our stamping because this is a 2-step stamp. So I always prefer to use my Stamparatus when I do 2-step stamping. And I've got my floral image here. You can see that I've taken that largest circle from the Stylish Shapes dies, and I've die cut a larger piece of cardstock from it. I've cut it from a larger piece of cardstock. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place that circle right back in there. And I've already positioned this so that it is pretty good. I think it's lined up pretty well here. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to slide this up just a little bit. I think we're good. It's always hard to tell because we've got another image that we need to stamp in here. So I'm just having a look to see if any of the green sticks any further past, and it does not. But you know what? We are going to change the position of this. We're going to go more like this, because the reason I did that is because I have a greeting that's going to go across this way. Okay, so I'm just using that as a guide. I'm going to take this and pop this under here so that it's out of the way. It will hold my cardstock in place. Then I'll close that. That will pick that up. And we're going to start with some Petal Pink ink. The color combination today is Petal Pink and Mint Macaron. Such a pretty color combination. So I'm just going to ink that up, stamp it down, and the great thing about a stamp positioning tool is if this did not stamp very nicely, I can re-stamp it, and that looks good. Okay, now I'm going to take the leaf image and I'm going to position it on here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm lining up the centers, the centers of the flowers with the flowers that I've just stamped. And I think that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, I'm going to rotate it around, and then we'll pop this down. And now we're going to bring in, oh, let's close this. We'll close this down, carefully peel it up, and then we're going to take our Mint Macaron and ink up the stamp. So if you are making multiples, you can see that the Stamparatus is a great tool because it allows you to keep your stamps on the blocks or on the pads so that you can just flip them back and forth and just keep stamping. And there we go. We've got a beautifully stamped image. All right, so now let me close that. We'll set that aside. And now we can go ahead and start assembling. Let's just close up our ink pads. All right, so our card base is going to be a piece of basic white. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And don't worry about jotting down these measurements. They will all be on my blog. You can find a link to the blog post in the description below. All right, and we're going to start with this second largest circle. We'll add our adhesive to the back, and we're going to pop that right about there. Then we're going to add this third largest circle. We're going to slide this right underneath here, like that. And then this piece is going to go on here, and we're going to put it about there. And this piece, let's pop this piece up. So I'll grab some of my Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm just going to add 3 of them on here. And then I'm going to put it right about there. Now this will lighten just a little bit as it dries. Okay, and then for my greeting, I decided not to use a greeting from this Bottled Happiness because Let's Get Into the Spirit didn't really seem fitting, and I wanted a long, narrow greeting. So I went to one of my favorites, the Sending Smiles stamp set, and there are lots of great greetings that we can do. We could use in here, but I've chosen to use a note of thanks, and I'm just going to stamp that with some Memento ink. Stamp that right on. Just a narrow strip. This is just a smidge larger than 1/4 of an inch. And then we'll take our snips and we'll just angle cut this, and then I'm going to leave a little bit of space here on the left hand side. Okay, and then grab my bone folder. Oh, here we go. And we're just going to give this a bit of a curl, and we're going to pop a little mini dimensional under here and then use some flat adhesive on either end. And this is just going to give our greeting a bit of dimension. Pop that on there. Make sure it's straight. All right. And then I've got a piece of this beautiful ribbon. Oh my gosh, this ribbon, I wish you could feel it. It is so soft. I love this ribbon. It's called the Soft Polyester Ribbon. It's in Petal Pink, and you can find it in the annual catalog. And it feels almost like a suede. It's so lovely. We'll use a couple mini glue dots to adhere this. So I'm just going to take one of these off, pop it on here, and then we'll pop this down like this, and then I'm going to fold it in half. So I'm going to use another mini glue dot to hold that second half down. Just like that. And then I've used a piece of our white baker's twine, and we'll use another mini glue dot to adhere that. This time I'm going to fold my mini glue dot in half and just pop it on there, and that will hold my baker's twine down. And then the last thing is just to add a little bit of bling, and I'm just trying to find where my, oh, here it is. Okay, I'm going to use some polished dots. Now, at the time that I'm filming this video, these are current, and it will be posted, or they will still be available when the video goes live, but they are on the retiring list, and they are only available to purchase until the end of June. And I love these dots. They've got some light pink, which I can't remember if it's Petal Pink or Blushing Bride, but they go with either of those two colors, and then some clear dots. I was so surprised that these did not carry over to the annual catalog. I love, love, love them. So I'm going to use some of the pink ones. We're going to add one there, and then another one up here, and I think that's good. And there is our card, all finished. So it will lighten just a little bit, like I said. This was a swap that I created, so I did create lots of them. I have re-inked my stamp set since then, so this will be a little bit darker, but it's so beautiful. All right, so something for you to consider is if you have not yet picked up that Bottled Happiness bundle, that might be something you want to add to your collection. And then when the July to December mini catalog comes out, you can add the Vintage Christmas to expand this collection of products. And be sure to check out, I've got a Christmas class in July coming up. It's a virtual class featuring this Vintage Christmas stamp set. I will post a link to all the details in the description below. All right, thanks so much for joining me today. If you are not yet a subscriber, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give me a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching.